GG Blankies proudly presents Musings with Steve and Teresa. They're here to enlighten, entertain, and inform about issues they think are important. They want people to think about how positive actions make positive people. Their show is captured and linked to YouTube. The programs are listed in the archives of both Blog Talk Radio and YouTube video, and you can watch it as well as listen. Now on with the show.
Hello everyone! Welcome to our show on this Halloween day. We're very, very happy to have you with us today, and our program is captured and linked to YouTube, listed in the archives of both Blog Talk Radio and YouTube video as Musings with Steve and Teresa, which strangely enough is the name of our program. I'm Steve, a co-host.
I'm Teresa, the other co-host.
We've come to enlighten, entertain, inform about issues we think are important. We want you to think about how positive actions can make positive people. And Terry, what's on the blankie wall today?
Well, actually, I brought an old one. This is the one that I turn into a wall hanging. You can just crack open the binding and put a rod through it and turn it into a wall hanging when the child is done, if there's anything left. But I added tassels too, but the cat stole them and I haven't found them yet. So this one is
tassels cats, huh?
Yeah, they love tassels. And yeah, this is just my green rings, and it's easy to make it into a wall hanging. And you can see all the new blankies on the Facebook page. I post them on a regular basis when there's new ones.
Fantastic.
There'll be a few more new ones this week.
That's great to hear. Well, we want to review some back data here. If you remember, a few weeks back we were talking about the credit bureaus and how they're not responsive to the errors that's in their system. Now, they have multi-million dollar or a million customers. They claim that their error rate is less than 1%, but if you multiply less than 1% times 30 million, you have more than 2 or 3 million people that got errors on their credit report. Well, anyway, the federal government...
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. The federal government and the state of Ohio got involved, and at the time, DeWine's office responded back on September the 9th and set up an ID theft department where you could call and report your errors and your identity theft material. And at that time, the federal government also said they were starting a bureau to run checks on credit bureaus.
Hey.
That again was on September the 9th. Well, now here we are on October the 28th, and it's reported in the Columbus Dispatch Sunday, October the 28th, where to send credit card report complaints. And the federal government has got out to www.consumerfinance.gov, complain or call. It got telephone number. You can fax the material in or mail it to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Iowa City, and
so they're making a conscious effort, and there is forward motion.
They've started the announced the telephone number anyway.
Yeah.
Now, whether the organization is geared to function well or not,
we'll have to wait and see. But at least they're making an effort to get things corrected.
Well, basically, they're addressing the mistakes like it's not my birthday, that's not my name, I'm not dead.
Those little tiny errors.
Yeah, those little the mechanical errors. And I've preached this for years and years and years, that when you start a system like this, you want your input of data is very cost prohibitive, and you try to cut the prices as quickly as you can. And so what do? The little girl's out of typing school, and it's an entry level
Right.
position.
Data processing is interesting.
And so what happens is the least experienced, least knowledgeable individual is taking the data and transcribing it into the system with no checks or balances.
I got a really good example of this error being made in the data inputting. Well, I met this lady the other day. She was about your age, and we were talking about veterans and everything. And her husband says, "Oh yeah, tell her about how you're a World War II veteran." And I said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, not long ago I got papers from the military saying that she was a World War II veteran, and it had a whole list, and she was entitled to this and that." She said, "But I'm a woman and I've never been in the military." But it had her name and her numbers, but it wasn't her. You know, and she said, "No, I've never been to war."
Well, you don't have to go to war to get the money.
Well, she said it made her laugh. But again, example of a person, a data processor, not paying attention to critical little facts over here.
And it's very difficult to correct. Now, in my own case, okay, my name is Wayne Stevens Clark Jr. When I got the Medicare card, it was Wayne Stevens Clark Jr. They didn't have the computer set up to do Clark space Jr. So they typed in Clark Jr. Okay, so that turned out to be my last name was Clark Jr. Then, 20 years goes by. I go down to get a flu shot. I'm not in the daggone computer. Every time I went to get a flu shot, it took better than an hour to get it straightened up. And finally somebody explained to me that what had happened is they had rewrote the program and they'd made a separate category for junior. So currently when they typed in Wayne Stephen Clark and went over to the space junior,
you didn't come up.
They typed that in and there was nobody in the file.
Right,
So after a couple of years, I called Social Security, I called the Medicare, I called several of them, and they, well, I can't do anything, you got to do this. And I got a different answer every time I did it. So finally, I did get a hold of somebody that says, well, look, the only thing I know that we can do, we can't correct the records. What we have to do is we'll recertify you under your number and put it in the computer correctly, and we'll cancel out the old data. So the last time I got a flu shot, a couple months ago or a weeks ago, it went through
no problem. That's crazy.
like food through a goose. But the system was not designed to be corrected.
No, it's
because they didn't.
And nowadays, if the computer says it's so, it's the word. And that drives me insane.
Well,
because it's just a machine.
Just a machine. Well, you got some.
I got a little rant here. It's about this actually highly aggravating political campaign for our presidential office this time. I'm kind of really disgusted by everybody's behavior. I mean, for one thing, there's entirely too much money being spent on spouting disinformation, misinformation. I don't know, but I'm really upset about that. I mean, disgusted is a good word, because I look at it and I go, you spent how much? Some of these dinners where they raise money, I could live for 10, 15 years on what they raise in the evening,
well, now
and the nasty ads.
Remember, you got a brother that got his doctorate.
Yeah.
Okay. If he were in government service, he'd be making $150,000 a year minimum. That's start.
Yeah.
And all of his political associates would be making that much or more.
Well,
so you got to have $1 million.
I'm just thoroughly disgusted with the whole thing. And the spin. Now, I was looking at some blogs yesterday on the internet. And it started out like this person says, well, here's all the good stuff Obama did, right? And now all this stuff, you can check all these facts over here and see the truth. And I know the majority of it is done and accurate. And then you got over here, you got a counterpart, and he's taking the same information and tearing it to shreds. It was like, wow, that's the same information. I mean, they spin it to pull out their truths. And then what remains is really no truth at all. I mean, I know it's done it all the time. I know how it works. I understand, and I understand why they think it's necessary, but it's still not right.
Now, remember back when we were both working at CDC, collecting, we were telephone solicitors, the both of us.
Fun job.
Real fun job. I did it for 10 years.
And I did it for 4 months.
The word was that we were, actually we were working for the Ohio State Troopers Association. We worked for the veterans, so forth. And the people claimed that we were pirating their money. We were thieves and so forth. Well, now the actual fact of the matter was,
I understand. They made a contract. They got the money.
We had 100 people calling on the telephone all day long. The telephone. I saw the telephone bill for a 15-day period was around $30,000.
Yeah, that's obscene.
That was just the telephone bill.
Obscene.
We were collecting the money. The contract to the troopers said that we will guarantee them, I think it was $2 million at the time. The rest of the money came out as expenses. And I was part of those expenses, and I was getting paid pretty good because I was pretty good at it.
Yep.
Now, that's the same way with the political thing that were going on, is the troopers were getting good money. That was a plus benefit. The fact that they were getting 25% of all of the money collected was bad. Well, the thing is that there was a tremendous organization that was getting that money, and unemployment was good. I mean, there were people working. The managers were getting paid. So it wasn't all ripped off by the.
I understand that. But, anyway, what I got to say about this campaign is that. You should look at the facts. The facts, not don't listen to the ads, the pundits, or the polls. Look at the facts. Look them up for yourself and decide for yourself. And vote with your head and not your heart, which people can't do. It's gotten very emotional. And the anger level this campaign, I'm really a little startled by the anger level of some of these people. But anyway, do vote. Not voting is an option. If everyone of voting age did so, we could have whoever we wanted in the White House. So if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Well, as I said, I got a prominent politician says that the climate for himself was improving greatly because people were waving at him with their whole hand.
Hi.
Halloween is here, and you got a couple of facts about Halloween that we haven't talked about.
Yeah, I do. I actually have an interesting book here. One thing I found interesting is the traditional colors of black and orange. Well, we all know that black is, maybe not everybody, but it says time dedicated to the dead, and black has been the color associated with dead, and all kinds of other things, but witches and some other people use it as protection, too. But the orange, I said, well, the orange, what is the orange? Everything's black cats, black this, black that, but the orange, it's a sacred color, but it's also the color of pumpkins and the leaves. And it's like, duh, when I read that, I said, oh, of course. Fall colors, yeah.
Pumpkin has been that.
Yeah, let's see. I got another strange thing here in this book. I found a really interesting one. 90 seconds, well, we got 90 seconds here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, anyway, I found a thing here about Houdini. Remember, he was a magician, and his wife wanted to do seances every year.
Well, he became an anti-medium convert.
But she did it for like 10 years and then said, that's enough waiting for him. But anyway, you can still go to a Houdini seance on Halloween almost anywhere in the world. And people are still trying to
That's right. He said that if there's an afterlife, I will come back.
Yeah.
And
well, I think he just was having too much fun over there and lost track of time.
Well, that might be it. We want to thank you for listening to our podcast today. program is, as we said, archived at Blog Talk Radio, captured and archived for YouTube video, and linked to our Facebook. Comments are welcome. We will return with our continuing viewpoints next Tuesday at 2 p.m., November the 6th. Now, that's Election Day, when your host will be Teresa.
Me.
Be sure to vote. This host will be spending the day at the election polls as a precinct judge.
Join us. I'm Judge of Change.
Yeah. Join us as we continue to discuss our changing times, a different view. Maybe some of those positions we discussed will be yours.
Maybe not.
I'm Steve.
I'm Teresa.
And thank you for listening.
Remember to think positive.
Be positive. Live positive.
Enjoy.
And goodbye.
See ya.
Gigi Blankies, thank you for listening to the podcast today. This program is archived at Blog Talk Radio, captured and archived for YouTube video, and linked to Facebook as Musings with Steve and Teresa. Think positive, be positive, live positive, and enjoy.